Hey. Today we just got ourselves a leaks about the new upcoming characters Mavuika, Citlali, and Lan Yan. I wanted to make a little video about how exactly they work, not really their strength level, but just what they do. Because it's easy to see all the flashy animations, but it might be a little problematic to understand how the character is going to actually work. And so today I'm going to try to explain in a simple way how each of these new characters is going to work. So let's start with the most anticipated character, Mavuika. And her kit is honestly fairly simple. It's very similar to Raiden's kit. Her normal attacks don't do anything special, they just normal attacks to be there. Her E has two modes. If you just press it, it's gonna work very similar to Raiden's E. Well, more like Pookie's E is just up around your character and deals pyro damage off field, and that is going to be the Mavuika support build. It's about her E. And the other build is going to be DPS, and for that you have the second version of the E, and that is the E if you hold it. If you hold your skill, Mavuika hops on a bike, and now you enter the on-field mode. The on-field mode is, well, you can on-field and do damage. She will get a Pyro Infusion and a special set of attacks. It will contain normal charge attacks, plunge attacks. She will also be able to use it for exploration, and she will kind of be like all Natlan characters in one, in a way that her motorcycle can fly, can go into the water, can climb walls. It can do a little bit of everything. And when it comes down to her burst, well, it's a little bit interesting because just like Raiden, it stores up points, but it doesn't actually use energy. It uses something called Fighting Spirit. It's a special resource that Mavuika generates herself, and you can generate it in two ways. One way is if you use normal attacks and hit an enemy, then you generate 1.5 Fighting Spirit. Or if someone in your team, including Mavuika, uses Night Soul Burst, which basically means a Natlan character uses their skills. Shalon can be very good support because Shalon uses her E. It gives Mavuika instantly 90 points to her Fighting Spirit. If she has 100 Fighting Spirit, she can use it. However, it can stack up to 200, and at 200 it gets the maximum amount of value. What it does is that it increases all of her motion values. And the burst itself just is kind of like a Raiden burst. You use it, you do a big slash at the start, and then you enter the same state that you have in the hold E. However, it's going to be enhanced and your damage will be bigger. She has some passives that can increase her attack, or how she can increase her damage percent or teammates damage percent. It doesn't really matter for understanding the kit. The kit is basically she has E that has off-field and on-field version, and the burst makes you enter the on-field version, and the more of a special resource you have, the stronger the on-field version is going to be. That's kind of the Mavuika kit in a nutshell. When it comes down to Citlali, her kit can be briefly summarized as a shielder with some buffs. Her normal attacks don't really do anything special. She's a catalyst, so her normal attacks will apply cryo, but they don't do anything special. The important part of her kit is her skill. Her skill gives you a shield, but also summons a pet called Its Papa. Its Papa follows the character, and if you have 50 Night Soul points, it will start to shoot. Now, how do you get Night Soul points with Citlali? Well, using the skill gives you some, but to get more, you need to either trigger Frozen or Melt, or use Citlali's ult. You can kind of think of her pet as a Layla's shooting things, and her shield is, well, just a shield. The shield duration is pretty long. It's 20 seconds on a 16 seconds cooldown, so you have 100% uptime, so you don't need to worry about losing the shield. So as a defensive utility, she will be pretty good. However, the interesting part of her kit is that she actually scales off Elemental Mastery and not from HP or attack like other characters do. And one of her passives increases the damage from Its Papa and from her burst depending on her elemental mastery. Now, I did not do any calc, so I can't say how effective it's going to be, but it is still something worth mentioning. Another passive that she has, and that's going to be her main passive, is that when Melt of Frozen is triggered, the enemy's Pyro and Hydro resistance will be decreased. Now, it might sound like she's a pretty good freeze support, however, it's not actually the case because most freeze teams use Cryo as their main source of damage, which means the Hydro resistance threat doesn't actually do anything. So it makes it so that she's the best paired with someone Pyro because then the Pyro resist actually matters. Or maybe you can use the Hydro resist in something like Nevelite teams. Overall, she sounds like a pretty solid shielder, but I did not see the information about how much cryo she applies with its Papa, so I can't really say is she enough as a solo cryo, will you need more, but it's still a pretty good shield support, is always nice to have. And now to the last character, Lan Yan, the Liyue anima character. She's very simple. She's a catalyst user, so her normal attacks is just gonna do anima damage. Her E makes her do a little dash, and then she gives you a shield for 8 seconds, and then the burst just deals some damage. The problem here is that, well, she scales purely from attack, but her attack scalings aren't that good. So what it makes so that the best use for her will be to just give her Thrilling Tales and just use her as a shielder for a character that needs VV. The problem here is that her shield only lasts 8 seconds. It's not that big of a deal because you want to use Verdescent Venom right before you carry anyway, but it is going to be a little bit rougher than it usually is because her shield duration is small, so like if you take damage after the shield, you might struggle a little bit, but overall she's just a 4-star shielder. There's not much to it. However, there are 2 good things about her. Her C2 makes her shield refreshable, which is quite nice because even if the shield gets destroyed, you can refresh its strength, and C4 gives a small buff to elemental mastery to your entire party, which is also quite nice. So what she does is she's a shielder who has CTDS, who has VV, and who has a small elemental mastery bonus. Nothing major, but it's still something, and it can be useful for some of you. All of what I said is just the first iteration of betas, so this whole information can very easily change, so watch out for that. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed, of course, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and see you some other time.